For millions of people around the world, the day doesn't truly begin until they take that first sip of coffee. We reach for it because we need energy, despite the fact that coffee contains 0 calories. It provides no actual biological fuel for the body to burn. This sudden jolt of alertness is the result of caffeine interfering with your nervous system. The molecule acts as a master of disguise, masking physical exhaustion so effectively that the brain stops registering its own fatigue. The morning coffee ritual is a chemical illusion, one that requires us to look past the mug and into the brain's internal sensors. To see how this illusion works, we have to establish the baseline rules of how the brain experiences fatigue. Throughout the day, your brain produces a molecule called adenosine. This serves as your internal low battery signal, steadily accumulating during your waking hours. This animated diagram illustrates that low battery system. As adenosine builds up, these molecules lock into specific empty slots in your brain called receptors. Each connection dials up your physical sensation of sleepiness. When you drink a cup of coffee, caffeine enters your bloodstream and travels straight to the brain, arriving at these exact same receptors. Caffeine's molecular shape is nearly identical to adenosine. It is structurally close enough to function as a perfect imposter. Because of that shape, caffeine plugs into the receptors and prevents the real adenosine from delivering its low battery warning to the brain. The feeling of being awake is actually the brain being artificially blinded to its own physical exhaustion. Silencing those sleep signals triggers a secondary, chaotic chain reaction. With the adenosine signal blocked, your brain's natural stimulants, specifically dopamine and norepinephrine, are free to operate unchecked. This chemical overdrive produces the sudden surge in focus, mood, and perceived energy that defines the coffee high. This hijacked system forces the brain to run at maximum capacity, even though the body remains physically depleted of true energy. In this state, your nervous system is borrowing against its own physical reserves because its safety sensors have been turned off. Eventually, the body metabolizes the caffeine, and its grip on the brain's receptors begins to weaken. While receptors are occupied, your brain keeps producing adenosine. The result is a massive backlog pressing against the barrier. As caffeine detaches, the dam breaks. The adenosine floods the receptors all at once, hitting the brain with overwhelming fatigue. This causes the famous caffeine crash. When this cycle is repeated every single day, the brain begins a physical defensive adaptation. To ensure its tired signals get through, it physically grows additional adenosine receptors alongside the original slots. This structural change is the mechanical basis of tolerance. It explains why a single cup of coffee eventually loses its effectiveness. To block these new receptors and achieve the same alertness, the drinker must consume increasingly larger amounts of caffeine. Your morning coffee triggers an escalating biological arms race. How many cups does it take to maintain your balance? Let us know below.